matter how famous you are or how wealthy you may be. It doesn't matter what your race, gender, or age may be. Cancer is a non-discriminating killer which can attack any one of us at any time. This year, approximately 1 million new cancer cases are expected to be diagnosed. Tragically, about 550,000 Americans are expected to die of cancer. That's more than 1,500 people a day. But there's hope. Because of past support, the American Cancer Society has provided research which has helped diagnose the early stages of cancer. This has brought the survival rate up to 67% from 46% in previous years. Without funding, there is no research. Without research, there is no cure. How long can we let this killer run loose?
She was a beautiful person. I know that if she was here today, she would ask you not to smoke. And she would want you to quit smoking as soon as possible if you do smoke, before it's too late.
Some people just think, why can it happen to me? It can always happen to anybody. But a lot of things I say is I couldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
I never thought that I would have cancer. Even when I found out that I had it, I still didn't believe it.
One of the things people said to me the most when I first told them was, wow, you're so healthy. I eat healthy, I exercise regularly. I did pretty much everything. I don't smoke, I don't do anything, you know, I would say that's hazardous to my health, so to speak, where I would get cancer.
When I first discovered the lump, we did an initial test to take a look at what it was. And I wasn't going to get the results for about 4 days, and those 4 days were probably the scariest out of the entire experience for me because I didn't know what it was. And I couldn't sleep, and I didn't want to be at work, I didn't want to be at home, I just sort of wanted to curl up in the corner and not do anything till I found out what it was.
My job usually in the beginning is the first thing we do before we try to get into medical aspect of things is try to understand is what is the patient experiencing, trying to figure out what are they going through at that moment. Are they anxious? Are they very anxious? Are they very confused? Are they very exhausted? Are they tired mentally, physically? What is going on? We try to understand what is the patient's situation, where are they coming from.
I used to think I was a little stronger and tougher than I think I realized. And although God doesn't give us anything that we can't handle, I wish He didn't think I was so tough sometimes. I wasn't ready for that one.
Everybody says, oh, it doesn't have to be a death sentence, but I believe that at that time it is a death sentence, because at that time your life that you knew it died. Your whole new life is taking over. Your life will never be the same.
Does it change you? Yes, it does. It changes your outlook on life. It changes how you feel about life.
Cancer humbled me very much. It has a way of stripping the person you are on the outside and leaving you with the person you are on the inside. And if you don't like that person, you don't have much to go on.
I guess I kind of learned a lot about myself, you know. I mean, in life, I guess, you got to find out who you are before you can really be comfortable, and that's why people are into conformity so much, is because they don't really know who they are yet, and so I know who I am.
The thing is, when you get cancer and you're diagnosed with it, cancer becomes more than just a 6-letter word. It's a big billboard, big neon billboard in your mind that flashes on and off, and you can't ignore it, and you know it's there, and it's scary.
Probably the most difficult part of going through this last chapter of my life was the friends and family who didn't, I don't want to say they didn't want to deal with it, I don't think they knew how to treat me. And even though they, like, I don't want to say cold shoulder, but kind of avoided me. Cancer isn't contagious at all. You're not going to catch it.
You have to assume that the person is normal. Just because they have cancer doesn't mean that they have the plague. It's just it's just something that everyone has to deal with individually, and nobody knows how you're going to deal with it. When you're told, your reaction could be different than someone else's.
If this is touching your life, either through you or through someone that you know, just to be there and be supportive for them. Sometimes all they need is just someone just to hold their hand, and that can make all the difference in the world.
If there was one piece of advice that I could give to anyone who's been diagnosed with cancer, it would be never ask, why me? Look to the little ones and ask, why the children? Those that will never know what it's like to grow up, those that will never lead a normal childhood. Visit a children's cancer ward and see the smiles, the giggles, the strength. Look to them and see that they never give up hope.
You know, many of us have children, and we know how dear they are to us, and we can accept everything but not our children being sick. So quite often you deal with parents that are extremely upset and very, very, very angry to occasion because why is this happening? And very, very concerned. Now, obviously, we're all concerned for our loved ones, but especially when you have a little children, it's a little special case. You know, they're not supposed to be sick with cancer, so it is very difficult to deal with them emotionally.
What do you want to tell all the kids who might have cancer?
Don't be afraid, because God will always be there.
She laughed at times and she had good times, but mostly I'm sure it was tough for her. But she never showed it. She went through it with just great honor. She was wonderful. And her words for us was, tomorrow's not a promise, it's a gift. Enjoy each day as if it were your last.
I find a lot of things in life are just really simple, and the reason why they're so hard is because you look at them from a complex angle. But I mean, really, happiness is just like a choice, you know? I mean, people say it's more complicated than that, but it's not.
Most of all, I wake up in the morning, and if I feel really good and there are no lumps and bumps, I live that day to the very fullest.
I thought long and hard when I was asked to do this video, what was the worst part of having cancer? And I would have to say that it was losing my chemo buddies, watching them go when I was still alive. What was the best part of ever having cancer? Being here today to share this experience with you and let you know how much the American Cancer Society has done for the treatment of our cancers.
In tracking down this killer, what difference can your donation make? Us. Our lives depend on it.
17 years I have survived.
It teaches how valuable life is and how we should be good to each other, support each other as a human being and as a community, be as one, be united and be good to each other. And that's what matters, and that's what's important. That's what's left at the end.